Well, the left says it wants a frank conversation about guns, and that's always an admirable goal, something that we support wholeheartedly, and so we've tried to have that conversation. Turns out it's very difficult to get anybody who claims to want an honest conversation to state clearly what their goals are on guns. We just spoke, for example, to former Obama administration official Jennifer Palmieri, who's smart and nice, and we asked her really simply, do you support gun confiscation? And here's the answer we got. Do you think the government should ever take guns from law-abiding people? That's not a trick question. It's a sincere question.
I think that there should be an assault weapons ban. I don't think that people need to take their guns away, but I think there should be an assault weapons
people who
ban.
Own
It's not a sincere question.
It is very much a sincere question. It is, as a gun owner, I can promise you, I couldn't tell you how sincere it is.
My husband has a number of guns, too.
That's great. But even if I didn't, should government ever take the guns of people who have not misused them?
I think we've addressed it.
And you don't think it should? You don't think it should? You don't want to answer. We'll show you the rest of that interview with Jim Palmieri later tonight. But first, Richard Goodstein is an attorney. He's advised both of Hillary Clinton's presidential campaigns. He also served as an outside counsel for a group that became the Brady campaign, the big gun control group. Richard Goodstein joins us tonight. Richard, thanks for coming on.
Sure, of course.
So you actually have worked for a gun control group.
I have indeed.
The most famous one before Bloomberg came around.
Right.
And so it's a really simple question. Should the government ever take the firearms of Americans who have not misused them?
The only person that in public life has talked about that is Donald Trump, famously with that bipartisan group in the White House where he said, seize the guns first, due process later. He's the only person that I think any of us have ever heard of who has a vote that counts. He's the only person who suggested
let me say, he doesn't actually have a vote. He's the executive. But whatever, I couldn't disagree with that more and said so the second he said that. But my question is not about Trump. It's about the left, which is likely to take over Congress, which says it wants to impose common sense gun control in the country. And I just want to know, as a citizen, what does it mean exactly? Will the government ever be, should it ever be allowed to take guns away from people who haven't violated the law?
Yeah, I don't think anybody is suggesting, who has a vote in Congress, any sort of confiscation.
That's not true. That's not true. We've interviewed a number of people on the show who said we need an Australia-style gun
Which
buyback
members of Congress?
No,
well, that's different from a seizure. Look,
no, it's not.
Here's what Democrats want. You're interested to know.
Yes.
It's what 97% of the public wants, which is background checks. It's the age limit should be increased, which is do away with bump stocks. It says that we should have a 3-day waiting period. We should, there's a whole list of things, but any one of which is going to make a difference.
Let's keep, and that's debatable, but let's keep going down the list to the assault weapons ban, which is what many Democrats are calling for. Democrats in Florida sponsored a bill calling for an assault weapons ban there that included gun confiscation. It required, rather Georgia, excuse me, and required the state of Georgia to take guns from people who had them. There are 300 million, at least, firearms in this country. What do you do about that? That's the core question.
Right. So I think the feeling of, look, assault weapons, can we agree, are designed to mow human beings down and kill them. They're not. What else are they for?
No, because an assault weapon is not an actual category. It's like hate speech.
Well,
it's a fake category made up by polemicists, not people who know anything about firearms. Just because you have a bayonet lug or a flash suppressor or an extending stock does not make your gun more lethal. This is like the dumbest conversation ever. But
no, it's not. When the Congress passed an assault weapon ban in the 90s, they actually defined what it was.
Oh, I'm aware. On the basis of all kinds of cosmetic criteria, and that's why the crime rate was totally unaffected by it. But here's the question. There are tens of millions, maybe 100 million semi-automatic rifles that meet the criteria for a so-called assault rifle. Right. They exist. They're in the hands of law-abiding Americans. What do you do with those?
Yeah. I heard what Jennifer Palmieri said about this is not a serious topic. I won't say that.
It's the most serious.
I understand. I'm saying the only reason you're throwing that out as a possibility, because, again, nobody in the United States Congress is proposing that, is because everything else is caving in on kind of the Trump White House and so forth. Wait, so let's get the base riled up by talking about confiscation.
It's not the base. Hold on. If you say we want a ban on assault weapons, what does that mean? This is what all the kids lecturing us on television don't want to talk about. It's you don't want to talk about it, Jen Palmieri.
Oh, I'm happy to talk about it.
What does it mean? Does it mean that you can't buy them? What if you possess one? Can you keep it? Can you give it to your son? Can you buy the ammunition for it? These are the questions that matter.
So Nicholas Cruz mowed down a bunch of students in Florida with a gun he could not have acquired in Connecticut. So Connecticut has figured out a way to pass a statute that would have actually kept Nicholas Cruz from buying the gun. You call it what it is, but everybody else calls it an assault weapon.
You're dodging my question, which is what do you do with the rifles already in circulation?
Yeah.
There are tens of millions of them.
That's a problem.
Each one, that's a problem.
Yeah.
What do you do to solve that problem?
I think the answer is, and again, that's what the study of the kind of whether the assault weapons ban worked or not said, which is the longer it's in effect, the longer, basically those guns kind of wear out, so they kind of rust out. There's no great solution, and
so
again.
Do you think it's in something that we should talk about, taking them away?
No.
You never take them away. So you ban the sale of them. Do you ban the transfer of them? Can I give one to a member of my family?
Everything that I suggested, which is going to be part of the Democratic agenda, will move the needle a bit. An assault weapons ban, and you basically can quibble with how we define it, but I think it's beyond argument that the assault weapons ban will move the needle a bit.
But I don't know what that means. That's the point. No, I don't know what the definition of it is.
Yeah.
And that's why would I agree to something that you refuse to explain? Well, that's what makes me nervous, when people are not straightforward.
Did the guy in Las Vegas use one? Yeah, I think he did. Did the Pulse nightclub use one? Yes. Did Parkland use one? Yes. I mean, the fact is we know
millions of law-abiding Americans use them every day. Yes.
To mow people down?
No, for sport, for hunting, for self-protection.
They don't use it for hunting. They're not killing deer with assault weapons.
They are.
No, they're not.
And it shows the depth of your lack of knowledge.
No, I'm sorry. I'm actually quite
Really? Because the 7.62 is legal in many states as a hunting round, and it's used.
Well, the fact is, would people want to do it for sport? They could go to a rifle range and say, let me have my practice, and give it back, just like they would with any other kind of.
So we're not allowed to have personal possession?
No, you're allowed to, but I'm just saying, if you're
range.
desperate to go to a range, we can provide for that.
Okay. So this is a high level of social control. That's it. I just want to get that out there, because we should debate this, because we're all citizens here.
I think we should debate all the things I mentioned, of which there is 80 to 97% support in the public.
This is the big one, and that's why I want to talk about it. And thank you for talking.
We will make America great again.